Mat leave denied for my wife for ludicrous reason? Okay. We just had a preterm baby and it has been in the NICU. One of the nurses advised us to apply to the caregiver benefit prior to applying to mat leave since we are in the hospital for weeks. So we did. My wife is employed full-time at her job for over 3 years and has worked full-time for 15 years. She also has a side hustle the last few years and basically shut down the business early this year to focus on baby. After applying, we got a call from a rep who started asking her questions about the biz. We are in the hospital with no computer or files or anything, so naturally was hard to answer any of them. She asked her to upload her tax documents. After he called, we realized she didn't know where to upload. She still hadn't even received her confirmation code to log into the portal. So we called back the rep 3 times as she had made it seem urgent we upload. Leave voicemails each time. She calls us back today and after 10 minutes of very rude and unhelpful convo, she says she had delayed this long enough and has made a decision on the spot, that she will not get the benefits and won't get mat leave as well. She then refused to answer anything else and hung up on us. We were stunned. She was so cold and the decision makes no sense. She kept saying that she is self-employed and should have been paying into that program. WTF? She has a full-time job. She spent less than 5 hours a week in side hustle and even shut it down in the early year. Even worse, the documents she claimed she needed she didn't even get because she never explained where to upload it. My wife started to have a mental breakdown as we are still with our hospitalized baby and she apparently doesn't get benefits that she has paid into for 15 years. We are going to file a form for reconsideration but would rather just talk to someone reasonable and human to figure this out. Looking for advice, help on anything else we can do? Having a baby in NICU is so stressful and dealing with the government is the last thing we want to do. My recommendation would be fill out a complaint request for reconsideration through the regular channels, then email your MP with the story complained. Federal MP have better access than us to Service Canada and sometimes can move things much faster. Speedy recovery to your wife and a healthy baby. If a decision was rendered, your only option now is to dispute it through a formal request for reconsideration. It sounds like the person thought she was only self-employed. In which case, she would not be eligible for A unless she had been paying in the special benefits program. I would call Service Canada and talk to someone else. I would also connect with the social worker on the NICU floor who can provide some support advocacy. You need to call your MP for assistance. They will help you deal with Service Canada and have many back avenue connections to get things looked at faster. Unbelievable. I feel angry for you both. I can't imagine the stress. You will win the appeal. I feel for you. We applied for mat leave on January 1st as my wife was about a month from her due date and was struggling on the floor. It didn't get approved until June. I have no idea how these people are allowed to keep their jobs. The absolute lack of empathy was unreal. Call your MP, this was the only thing that got the ball rolling for us. Speak to a supervisor. The side gig has nothing to do with eligibility. They probably want to know how much she makes from side gig nature of the business. They know how many hours she works full time as they receive RO from employer. Unfortunately, most of the reps are not too bright, like to be powerful in their minds. Absolutely ludicrous. Once you elevate, it will all work out top. Hang tough. Congrats on the beautiful family. Sorry this happened. Not to be picky, but using the right language may help when you are trying to get this fixed. Your wife wasn't denied mat leave, she was denied a maternity benefits. The leave is something her employer would grant and is not connected to the determination of a benefit entitlement. I can see your wife calling for help and getting misdirected because it sounds like she is complaining about her employer. Good luck. I'm guessing the issue is the side hustle. Basically shutting it down implies there's still income coming for it. I could be wrong, but I don't think you can be paid by A while you're making income. It would kind of be double dipping. I'm so sorry you're going through this, NICU is stressful as it is. Please take care of yourself and your wife as much as you can. You will win this appeal. I had something similar happen when I became disabled and had to get my local MP involved to fix the clusterfuck that the people at A had created. It is quite possible you may have to do that. A seems to be a total mess right now. We were in a similar situation with a hospitalized newborn, and the change from caregiver to maternity parental leave has taken more than 2 months with no end in sight. Getting close to contacting our MP, which is likely your best course of action as well. I don't really understand why you even brought up her own little side business. She has a full-time permanent job, right? You should have been discussing this with her permanent job's HR department. Her having a side hustle where she is self-employed really has nothing to do with it. Has her work sent in their documents for A? I was told the same thing, and then it was all fine once all the documents were in. How long has it been since baby's birth? It takes some time. I am not convinced this is an escalate situation. So she wasn't denied mat leave, she was denied A. Big difference. File the documents and ask for a reassessment, but side hustles, regardless of hours, it's about the money they bring in, are taken into consideration. Since you didn't note salaries, yours and both of hers, it's impossible to really accurately weigh in. It also depends on what her full-time job covers and any private insurance you may have. Should have looked into this the 9 months before TBH. Filing so late doesn't make a lot of sense. Well, your wife would have multiple years of T4 income leading up to this, including this year, so this would be easy to dispute as she's been paying into this. This will be easy to escalate and dispute. Did her full-time job properly lay her off and issue a row or whatever paperwork is needed for mat leave? I'm wondering if maybe with the baby coming early this part fell through the cracks and her hours at her full-time job are not in her file. Are you totally sure you were speaking to someone from Service Canada? The last time I applied for leave I got a call claiming they needed to go over my stuff and needed my code. I hadn't received it yet, so that shut the conversation down immediately, but in my sleep-deprived state it never occurred to me that they weren't who they said. Go to an office. Phone calls are not the way to deal with this. Just call back after you get your files in order. You will get someone else who will be more helpful. Take a breath. It will work out. If your spouse has been paying into A, she will get A. Caregiver and mat leave is also possible. I have done it. Dealing bureaucracy during times like that is not fun. If you have an row for your foot IB, they can't deny you. There's something amiss here. Wife here, thank you all for your support and comments. Our baby is doing much better and we are so happy. We called our MP today and they got back to us within a few hours. Hopefully we'll have an update resolution in the coming days. Crossed fingers. There's got to be more to this, details are missing somewhere along the line. Government workers like the CRA and some of these boneheads work this way. They place one call to you and you answer. You place 5 calls to them, no answer but leave messages. Sometime later, they contact you again. They claim they have been waiting on you and completely ignore that you have left them messages. I think at the end of the day they just delete all their messages. No email to send them so you can track stuff either. Just appeal or go to an office and speak to someone. Please reach out to your mayor. They are incredibly helpful. My A processing was stuck for 3 months. Reached out to mayor and it was resolved within 2 days. Tax me harder, it will fix the government. Time to unleash the mighty power of bureaucracy. Formal request for reconsideration, engage. Not vote the same corrupt regime into power for a 4th time. Call your MP. I had an issue with maternity benefits and they fixed it within 24 hours. Rule 1 of side hustle: if you're not accurately paying taxes and declaring all incomes, don't go telling the government you have a side hustle.